Hi, today we will learn about combined variation. Here are our objectives. Number 1, illustrate situations that involve combined variation. Number 2, translate into variation statement a relationship involving combined variation between two quantities given by a mathematical equation and vice versa. And lastly, solve problems involving combined variation. What is combined variation? Combined variation is another physical relationship among variables. This is the kind of variation that involves both the direct and inverse variations. The statement z varies directly as x and inversely as y means z is equal to kx all over y, or k is equal to zy over x, where k is the constant of variation. Let's have examples of translating statements into mathematical equations using k as the constant of variation. Number 1, v varies directly as a and inversely as b. In mathematical equation, it is written as v is equal to Ka over b. Another example, z varies directly as x and inversely as the square of y. In mathematical equation, that is written as z is equal to kx over the square of y, or y squared. Let's have another example. If z varies directly as x and inversely as y, and z is equal to 18 when x is equal to 12 and y is equal to 4, find z when x is equal to 16 and y is equal to 8. First, we will translate this statement into a mathematical equation. So we have z is equal to kx over y. So how do we read that? Z varies directly as x and inversely as y. It says in the problem, z is 18 when x is 12 and y is equal to 4. Let us substitute 18 to z, 12 to x, and 4 to y. After that, we can cross multiply. So we're going to have 12k is equal to 18 times 4, we have 72. Solving for k, divide both sides by 12. Therefore, k is equal to 72 divided by 12, we have 6. Since 6 is the constant of variation, the equation of the variation now is z is equal to 6x over y. Now, using the equation of variation, we will solve for what is being asked in the problem. Find z when x is 16 and y is equal to 8. So again, the equation is z is equal to 6x over y. We are asked to find z when x is 16 and y is 8. Substitute 16 to x and 8 to y. Now let us solve for z. 6 times 16, we have 96. 96 over 8, or 96 divided by 8. The quotient of 96 divided by 8 is 12. Therefore, z is equal to 12 when x is 16 and y is equal to 8. Let's have another example. If m varies directly as n and inversely as the square of u, and m is equal to 4 when n is equal to 32 and u is equal to 2, find m when u is equal to 6 and n is equal to 54. First, we will translate this statement into a mathematical equation. So we have m varies directly as n and inversely as the square of u. The square of u will be represented by u squared. Next, m is equal to 4 when n is equal to 32 and u is equal to 2. So we will substitute 4 to m, substitute 32 to n, and substitute 2 to u. So we're going to have 2 raised to the second power. Let us now simplify. 4 is equal to 32k over 2 squared, we have 4. After that, let us cross multiply. We now have 32k is equal to 4 times 4, we have 16. Solving for k, divide both sides by 32. Therefore, k is equal to 16 over 32. In simplest form, that is 1/2. Since k is equal to 1/2, what now is the equation of the variation? The equation of the variation now is m is equal to 1/2 n over u squared. Let us now solve for what is being asked in the problem. We have find m when u is 6 and n is equal to 54. Using the equation, m is equal to 1/2 n over u squared. Let us solve for m when n is 54 and u is 6. So we have m is equal to 1/2 times 54 over 6 raised to the second power. Let us first simplify the numerator. 1/2 of 54, or 54 divided by 2, and that will give us 27. 1/2 of 54 is 27. Over 6 squared. What is 6 raised to the second power? We have 36. Let us now simplify 27 over 36 in its lowest term. That is 3 over 4. Therefore, m is 3/4 when u is 6 and n is 54. Let's have solving problems involving combined variation. For our first problem, the time that it takes to paint a house varies directly with the size of the house in square meters and inversely with the number of painters working on the job. If 3 painters can complete a 330 square meter house in 5 days, then how long will it take 8 painters to complete a 528 square meter house? So we will use the variables t for time, s for the size of the house, and p for the number of painters working on the job. First, we will translate this statement into a mathematical equation. Let me underline. So it says there, the time that it takes to paint a house varies directly with the size of the house. So that is T is equal to Ks. And inversely with the number of painters over P. So T varies directly as S and inversely as P. Next, if 3 painters can complete a 330 square meter house in 5 days, so the time is 5 days if the size of the house is 330 square meters. And the number of painters is 3. 3 painters can complete a 330 square meter house in 5 days. So we have 5 is equal to K times 330 over 3. We substituted 5 to T. We substituted 330 to S and 3 to P. Now let us simplify. By cross multiplication, we're going to have 330K is equal to 5 times 3, 15. Let us now solve for K. Divide both sides by 330. Therefore, K is equal to 15 over 330, or in simplest form, that is 1 over 22. So if K is equal to 1 over 22, the equation of the variation now is T is equal to 1 over 22S over P. Question: how long will it take 8 painters to complete a 525 square meter house? So in short, what is T when S is 528 square meters and P is equal to 8? So what is 1 over 22 times 528? That is the same as 528 over 22 over 8. So it's like saying 528 over 22 divided by 8. How do we divide fractions? Again, so in dividing fractions, we multiply 528 over 22, multiply it by the reciprocal of 8. So the reciprocal of 8 is 1/8. 528 over 22 times 1/8. For easier multiplication, we can look for possible cancellation. 528 and 8 can be both divided by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 528 divided by 8 is 66. So we're going to have 66 times 1, 66 over 22 times 1, 22. And 66 over 22, that is equal to 3. Therefore, T is equal to 3, meaning it will take 3 days for 8 painters to complete a 528 square meter house. Let's have another problem. Let me read. The volume of a gas varies directly as its temperature and inversely as its pressure. If the volume is 90 milliliters, when temperature is 40 degrees and the pressure is 20 kilograms per square centimeters, what will be the volume when T is 30 degrees and P is 30 kilograms per square centimeters? So the volume will be represented by V, temperature will be represented by T, and pressure will be represented by P. Let us first translate the first sentence into a mathematical equation. It says there the volume of a gas varies directly as its temperature and inversely as its pressure. Therefore, we have V is equal to KT over P. Now, if V is 90 when T is 40 and P is 20, so let us substitute 90 to V, substitute 40 to T, and substitute 20 to P in order to solve for K. By cross multiplication, we're going to have 40K is equal to 90 times 20, that will be 1,800. Divide both sides by 40. Therefore, K is equal to 45. Since the constant of variation is 45, the equation of the variation now becomes V is equal to 45T over P. Now, using this equation, we will solve for the unknown in the problem. We are asked to find the volume when T is 30 and P is 30 kilograms per square centimeters. So, what is V when the time or the temperature is 30 degrees and the pressure is 30? We can solve for this easily by cancelling 30. So we're going to have 45. So the volume is 45 milliliters. If the temperature is 30 degrees and the pressure is 30 kilograms per squared centimeters. That's all for combined variation. Thank you very much.